compensation. So we need to record. Yes. So last class we discussed about few problems. Then after that we discussed about retrenchment compensation. So let us see that rules of retrenchment compensation again. Before that there is a concept of earned leave encashment. 10 clause 10 AA. Do you remember the rules? Can you tell me the rules now? Earned leave encashment rules. So that we need to see earned leave encashment. This we have discussed. Then after that we discussed about retrenchment compensation. See this section 10 clause 10b, where an employee is retrenched by his employer. Yes. Section 10 clause 10b, where an employee is retrenched by his employer, he may be paid a compensation at the time of retrenchment as per the provisions of Industrial Dispute Act or any other act, rules, standing orders, or contract of service. So, what you can say here, retrenchment compensation means what? First thing you need to know about the word retrenchment. Retrenchment means it is a removal. It is one kind of removal of an employee by the employer. So that is known as retrenchment compensation. So whenever there is such a removal, employer need to pay some amount. So there are certain conditions for that. See, this amount so received is exempt to the least of the following. That is, first one, amount calculated as per the provisions of Industrial Dispute Act of 1947, or amount notified by the Government of India is 5 lakh, but that is nothing but statutory limit, or actual amount received. Whichever is less is exempt. Among these three conditions, whichever is less is exempt and remaining is taxable. Yes. So, as per the Industrial Dispute Act of 1947, we need to see how to calculate the amount. See this. Amount is calculated at half month's average salary for every completed years of service or part thereof in excess of 6 months based on the salary of last 3 calendar months. So if we see for all the previous calculation for gratuity and all, we have taken average of last 10 months. But for retrenchment compensation, we want last 3 months salary. Last 3 months salary is average or completed years of service and part thereof is given. That means if suppose 25 years 7 months is given, so at 7 months is considered as one entire 1 year. So total year of service will be in that case 25 plus 1, 26 year. Yes. So you need to remember these rules. So these are not much important, but sometimes they may ask question for 6 months. Yes. So now let us see the next one. Compensation received at the time of voluntary retirement and separation. So retrenchment is a different thing, and voluntary retirement or separation is one more thing. So section 10 clause 10c, amount exempt to the extent of the least of the following. So again there are three conditions. So there is a scheme of VRS. VRS means voluntary retirement scheme. So it is available for usually for government employee, and sometimes it is available for private employee also. What do you mean by voluntary retirement scheme, Anuj? Yes, can you tell me?
They can retire themselves
Yes.
in their
Hmm. Hmm.
own wish.
Yes, voluntary retirement scheme means before the expiry of specified term. Suppose you can work till 60 year. If you want to retire at the age of 55, you can take VRS. So in that case, company will pay you the amount for the remaining unused years of service, or the period for which you are yet to work. For that, the company will give certain amount. So let us see that first condition: last round salary into 3 into completed years of service. That is one first condition. Or either way you can calculate the first condition, or last bronze salary into remaining months of service, whichever is less. Yes. Or 5 lakh or actual compensation is received. Last round salary into remaining month of service you can do, or there you can find whichever is less. Among these two, whichever is less. Yes. Salary for this purpose is only basic or basic plus DA if terms of employment provide, and commission paid as a percentage of turnover, that is for 1 month. So here very clear for retrenchment compensation section is section 10 clause 10b, and for voluntary retirement section is section 10 clause 10c. That you need to remember. Then we discussed one problem. Let us see that problem once again. Raja, aged 53 years, opted for VRS. This is voluntary retirement scheme after serving for 24 years and 7 months. Okay, so here years of service we know 24 years 7 months. He received 10 lakh as compensation. So this 10 lakh is the amount of compensation received given in the problem. He had 6 years 5 month service left. His last drawn salary is 16,000. Find out taxable compensation. Okay, how to find out taxable compensation? You need to do the format statement showing the taxable compensation. Three columns, particular and two amount column. First one you need to write actual compensation received. That is given in the problem. 10 lakh. Same thing you need to write in the outer column. Less exempt under section 10 clause 10c. This is for voluntary retirement. C is for voluntary retirement. First condition, actual amount received. Whatever you have written in the outer column, same amount you are going to write in the inner column. That is first one. Actual amount received. That is same. Next, monetary ceiling. Monetary ceiling is nothing but it is a statutory limit for voluntary retirement. That is set up by the government of India. That is 5 lakh. Next there is a rule. What is this rule? Last drawn salary into 3 into completed years of service. So last drawn salary we know 16,000 into 3 we have to do, you will get 48,000 into completed years of service, that is 24 years and 7 months. So that is 24 years and 7 months, and here they have not stated about part of the service exceeding 6 months to be treated as 1 year. So 7 months is ignored. In the case of voluntary retirement, 7 months is ignored. So only 24 years. Yes. So that is one answer you can get, or else last drawn salary into remaining month of service. So how you can calculate remaining month by seeing this problem? 6 year 5 month service left. So total remaining month of service, can you tell me by seeing this? Yes. Suraksha, can you tell me? Pragati, Hanumanta. Just see the question. 6 year 5 month service means total how many years of how many months of service is remaining? 1 year means how many months?
12 means
12.
Yes,
6.
12 into 6.
5 months.
Yes. First 6 year
7 months
means.
are remaining.
Sorry.
Your voice is breaking, sir. Can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Your video is also getting stuck. Sir. Video is also getting stuck.
Is it? So there is a connectivity issue. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sir, but little bit stuck, sir. That's it.
Okay. So here, how many months of
Now
service?
proper. Sir.
Yes. So now 6 year means 1 year 12 months. So for 6 year, how much? 12 into 6. 12 into 6 if you do, you will get 72 months. Plus 5 months they have said 6 year 5 months. So total remaining months is 77 months. So what you need to do here, 77 months into last drawn salary. Calculate. Can you calculate now? 16,000 into 77. What is the answer? 16,000 into 77 we need to do. See this, 16,000 into 77. Answer is 12 lakh 32,000. 12 lakh 32,000 or this amount. 11 lakh 52,000. Whichever is less. Which is less? 12 lakh 52 or 22 11 lakh 52 or 12 lakh 32, which is less?
11 lakh 52.
Yes, so that is why we have written 11 lakh 52. See this. The condition is among these two, whichever is less. Last drawn salary into 3 into completed years of service, or last drawn salary into remaining month of service, whichever is less. So what is less we have written here. 16,000 into 3 into 24. That is 11 lakh 52,000. Next, among these three, which is least is exempt. 10 lakh, 5 lakh and 11 lakh 52. In this, which is minimum, monetary ceiling, that is B point is minimum 5 lakh. So this 5 lakh is exempt, remaining is taxable. Taxable amount is 5 lakh. Yes, so this is how you are going to calculate problem regarding voluntary retirement. 6 mark problem, sometimes they ask. Anything you want to ask regarding this, you can ask now. Suraksha, Pragati, Anuj, Anumanta. Any doubt regarding this voluntary retirement scheme? Suraksha is saying no. So now my next question is, do you remember all the rules now? Gratuity rule. Gratuity, there are two rules. Then commuted pension rule. Then earned leave encashment rule. Then now next thing comes is HRA, house rent allowance. So that also we need to see. So now we need to go through the rules once again, or you can tell me now, Anuj. If you know, you can tell me, Anuj.
So you tell, sir. Like, we don't want-
See, you should remember this. See, now first thing in this chapter, tax-free income, we have discussed about gratuity. Gratuity we have discussed. See this, death cum retirement gratuity we have discussed. Under that, government employee is exempt. So what do you mean by that? Any amount received as gratuity by the government employee is exempt. Now what about private employee? Private employee, there are two cases. One is employees covered under Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972, and one more is employees not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. Now let us discuss the first case, non-government employee covered under Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. So amount is exempt to the least of the following. This is the rule. This is the rule. 15 days salary based on last drawn salary for each years of completed service or part thereof in excess of 6 months, or statutory limit is 20 lakh because he is covered, or actual amount of gratuity received, whichever is less. So this is our first we discussed about this. Now can you tell me the rules for not covered? Can anyone tell me now for the rules not covered? Pragati, can you tell me the rules for not covered? Yes, Suraksha, can you tell me the rules for not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972? You can unmute yourself and tell. See now, we discussed about now covered. Under covered, we have taken last one salary, but for not covered, we want average salary of last 10 months. So now let us discuss the rules for not covered. Before that, for covered employee, salary means basic plus DA. That you should remember, and it does not include dearness pay, even if it is considered for retirement benefit or commission. Only basic and DA you should consider. Yes. So now after that, see this, non-government employee not covered under Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972. Now again there are three conditions. Among these, which is least is exempt. See this, these are three conditions. Half month's salary for each years of completed service calculated on the basis of average salary for 10 months immediately preceding the month of his death, retirement, or termination of service, or statutory limit is 10 lakh, or actual amount of gratuity received, whichever is less is exempt. So here month of retirement is not included. In the case of gratuity, month of retirement is not included. Other things we need to consider, other months we need to consider. And what do you mean by salary for this purpose? For not covered, salary means only basic. For covered, salary means basic plus DA. So there is a difference. Now, when salary means basic plus DA plus commission, only when it is given in the problem that it enters the retirement benefit. See this. DA will be included only if terms of employment provide that it is considered for retirement benefit. When there is a commission is paid as a fixed percentage of turnover achieved during the 10 months, it is also included. That means commission rate of percentage is given, and that sales turnover is for last 10 months before the month of retirement, then you can consider that also, commission also. Yes. So this is a rule for not covered employee. Yes. Now, have you understood the rules for gratuity? Any doubt regarding the rules for gratuity, covered and not covered? Yes, Anuj.
Commission thing once you tell, sir.
Yes, commission. See this. Here they said the commission you can consider when the percentage of commission is given. So in the problem they may ask 1% on sales turnover of 20 lakh, 1% or 2% on sales turnover of 50 lakh. In that case, you should consider that commission for not covered. For not covered, you should consider that commission. How to calculate commission amount? 50 lakh into 2%. That will be given in the question. And that amount you need to add to the salary. Yes. And one more thing, we'll assume that the commission incurred by the SSE, that is during the last 10 months. Yes. Have you understood now? Commission.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, now any doubt regarding this? Gratuity rules. Pragati, Suraksha, Hanumanta. Hanumanta, have you understood? Have you understood, Hanumanta? Pragati, Suraksha, you can comment in the chat box also why you are not responding. Pragati is saying yes. Suraksha is saying yes. So now after this, there is a one more concept, that is commuted pension. After knowing the rules of gratuity, we discussed about commuted pension. So under commuted pension, what we need to see is whether the person receives gratuity or whether that person doesn't receive gratuity. When the person receives gratuity, there is a some different rules, and when the person doesn't receive gratuity, there is some other rules that we need to see now. See this commuted pension. Next topic we discussed under this chapter is commuted pension. So now rules for commuted pension, that is mentioned under section 10 clause 10 AA. See this, for government employee it is exempt. Whatever the amount received as pension is exempt. Commuted pension means what? Lump sum amount the person is getting after his retirement from the service. So now government employee it is exempt. In the case of private employee there are two cases. First thing, when he receives gratuity, so whenever he is receiving the gratuity, what is the rule? Tax free to the extent of, that means exempt up to the extent of the amount of the value of one third of the pension received. If he receives any gratuity, That means what? When the person receives, suppose let us say in the problem it is given 20 lakh as gratuity. In that case, how to calculate commuted pension? So pension value will be mentioned. So we should take full value of commuted pension. So half of the pension is commuted 60,000 given in the problem now. Half of the pension is commuted at 60,000. But now while calculating, we want full value. How to get the full value? Do the reciprocal. Reciprocal 1 by 2, now reciprocal of 1 by 2 is 2 by 1. So 60,000 into 2 by 1, if you do, you will get full value 1,20,000. So on that 1,20,000, you can easily calculate 1 by 3, you will get exemptable amount of commuted pension when person receives gratuity. Next case is when person doesn't receive any gratuity. In that case, half of the such pension is exempt. That means 50%. In the first case, it is 1 by 3 means almost 33.33%. Why? In the first case, it is less because already he gets exemption under gratuity. That is why here less exemption is given. When gratuity is not received by an employee, in that case there is no exemption in the no exemption availed by the employee, right? That is why here more exemption is given 50% in the second case. See this. So only these two things you need to remember regarding the commuted pension. Section 10 clause 10 AA. Yes. So now do you understood now, Anuj? Have you understood commuted pension?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the rules? Anuj, can you tell me the rule?
The detailed can't, sir.
In your own words, can you tell me now? In your own words.
Sir.
Or else you can tell me what you have understood. Yes, that is much better. Yes, Anuj. I am waiting for your answer.
To tell, sir, that.
Gratuity, you tell. Gratuity rules, you can tell, right? See, you need to study these rules. Then only you will get knowledge of this. That means you can remember this rule. So once you need to go through all these rules, then you can easily remember. Yes. So this is about commuted pension. Next rules regarding earned leave encashment. Why we are discussing all these rules? Because it is very important for 12 marks and all question comes. They may ask only gratuity calculation, covered and not covered, or else they may ask gratuity and computed pension calculation, or else they may ask gratuity and earned leave encashment calculation. So, question anything it can come. That is why remembering the rule is very important. So, now next topic is earned leave encashment. For that, we need to discuss again section 10 cross 10 AA. What do you mean by earned leave encashment? So you know, right, for employees there are certain leaves are given. If employee doesn't take such a leave, then he can encash that leave. That means for that leave which he has not availed, he can get the cash. Yes, so that is known as encashment of leave. In the case of government employee, it is fully exempt, very clear. In the case of government employee, that is fully exempt, that is at the time of retirement. If he encashes while in the service, it is taxed. Now, in the case of non-government employee, there are certain conditions that we need to see. What are those conditions? Among these four conditions, whichever is less is exempt. Here they have mentioned three. One more is their actual encashment received. That also you need to add. So now, first one, 10 months salary based on average salary drawn during the last 10 months before retirement. So this is the first condition. So this condition is similar to that of gratuity not covered. But what is the difference here in this condition? What is the difference? They have not given about part thereof, or they are not given about completed years of service. That is one difference. And one more difference is in the case of earned leave encashment, month of retirement is included. In the case of gratuity calculation, month of retirement is excluded. Suppose employee retires on September 30. In the case of gratuity, you should ignore September month and other months you need to calculate. That means previous month, preceding to the month of September. What are months are there? August, July, June, like that you need to calculate. For earned leave encashment, for the same concept, September 30 he retired means you should include that month. September 30 also, September month also you should include. So that is the difference, main difference between encashment and gratuity. So first condition is, first you need to calculate average salary for last 10 months, then you can calculate easily 10 months salary based on average salary. That is the first one. Second one is amount of salary on the basis of average salary for the approved period for which the earned leave has not been availed of. So here you know, once you know the average salary, it is very easy because in the problem they will give some period for which he has not taken the leave. So it may be for 5 months, it may be for 7 months, it may be for 1 year. So you can easily calculate basic, that is average salary into that particular months. So average salary, suppose let us say 9,000. There 11 month is he has not taken leave in his entire career. In that case, 9,000 into 11. If you do, you will get the second point answer, B condition answer. Then third one is sum not exceeding 3 lakh. So this is the statutory limit for earned leave encashment. So this we have discussed. Then fourth one is actual encashment received. That is nothing but the amount which is given in the problem. They will give directly. Yes. So any doubt regarding this encashment, earned leave encashment. So see, we are discussing about the rules because it is very difficult to remember the rules. That is why earned leave encashment rules. Have you understood earned leave encashment rules now? Yes.
If they don't put leave, the salary will be like they'll add salary, sir.
If they don't put leave, they'll add salary. Yes. So not to the salary of present. Only he can get that after his retirement or at the time of retirement. If he avails that encashment amount during the retirement, then it is taxable. So in our problem, all the calculation only at the time of retirement or after retirement. So we can assume that if he has not taken the leave in his entire career, means suppose he has not he has saved his leave for future purpose. What you can say, he has saved his leave for future purpose. That means he wants some cash from that. He can encash that leave at the time of retirement. So let us say he worked in an organization for 25 years. So in those 25 years, he saved 1 year leave. He saved 1 year leave. So what you can say, 12-month leave he saved in 25 year. So for that 12 month he will get the cash if he encashes that. Have you understood now, Anuj?
It will be taxed, sir.
It will be taxed. That is why there is certain condition is given. For government employee, it is exempt. For non-government employee, you need to apply these conditions. See this, these three conditions you need to apply. Whatever is minimum is exempt, and remaining amount is taxable. Among these three, minimum is exempt, remaining amount is taxable. Have you got it now, Anuj, Pragati, Suraksha, Hanumanta?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now we discuss the rules of gratuity, commuted pension, earned leave encashment. Yes. And retrenchment compensation rules just now we have discussed. Yes. Suraksha. Yes. So now next concept we need to see is house rent allowance. Next concept we need to see is HRA, house rent allowance. So what do you mean by HRA and why it is given? Can you tell me what do you mean by HRA and why it is given? House rent allowance, why it is provided to the employee by the employer? Because cost of living in the city is very high.
Half
Yes, Anuj.
expensive.
Yes, because rent is an
Yeah,
expense.
sir, expensive. Like Bangalore and all, it's
Yes. See, if you are working in some other place, So you are working in some other place, and there you need to stay in a rented house. In that case, you incur some expenses, right? Rent is an expense. So for that, company will provide you certain amount to meet such expenditure. So that is known as house rent allowance. So house rent allowance rules are given under section 10 clause 13A. See this. HRA is paid by the employer in order to enable the employee to meet the high cost of rent for the residential house. The exemption is restricted to the least of the following. That means again there are three conditions they have mentioned. Among these three conditions, whichever is least is exempt and remaining is taxable. So now actual HRA received by an employee for the relevant period. So that is the first condition. What do you mean by relevant period? Can you tell me the meaning of relevant period now? Relevant period means the period in which he stayed in the rented house. So that is the meaning of relevant period. So let us say in one financial year there is 12 months. Among these 12 months, for 9 months he stayed in the rented house. Then he shifted to his own house. In that case, he can avail the benefit only for 9 months and not for 12 months. So that is the meaning of this one. See this. Next, second one, the actual rent paid, excess of actual rent paid over and above 10% of the salary for the relevant period. That means rent paid will be given in the problem. Rent paid minus 10% of the salary you need to do. Then you will get one amount that is exempt. That is exempt, or that is second condition answer. Then third one. Third one, an amount equal to 50% of salary, very important. 50% of salary if house is located or accommodation is situated in these four cities: Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata. If house is located in Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, or Kolkata, 50% of salary is taken for the HRA calculation. If house is located in any other cities, let us say Bangalore, Mangalore, etc., in that case, 40% of the salary is taken. Yes, this is very important. So, while seeing the problem, you need to see the city as well. Yes. Now, next thing is salary. What do you mean by salary? Salary means only basic. So, you know now for encashment of leave, let us see the encashment of leave once again. What do you mean by salary for encashment of leave? Yes, that is very important. See this. Salary means again here only basic. DA, DP commission you can enter only if they provide. Yes, or else you cannot enter. So same thing applies to HRA. Salary means only basic. DA and DP enters only retirement benefit provides. If they provide the problem that it enters retirement benefit, they may give 50% enters the retirement benefit. Then you should take DA. Like that, DA means dearness allowance and DP means dearness pay. So here you see salary means basic plus DA plus DP. If commission is paid as a percentage of turnover, that is also included. Unless and otherwise stated in the problem, salary means only basic. Next, relevant period means what? Relevant period means the period during which the house was occupied by the SSE during the previous year. That's what I have discussed about this. Only for the period in which he stayed in the rented house, for that we need to calculate. Other things are not included. Next, third one. This exemption is not available if the SSE stays in his own house. If he stays in his own house, then there is no HRA. Compensation will be given. HRA amount allowance is given. He can claim if he stays in a rented house owned by his near relatives such as wife, children, and his parent. If he lives in the house for a rent of his relative's house, in that case also he can claim HRA. So these are the rules regarding HRA calculation. So any doubt regarding the rules HRA section 10 clause 13A? Yes, you can ask now. Anuj, Pragati, Suraksha, HRA. Yes. Anuj, Hanumanta, Pragati, Suraksha.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any doubt regarding HRA now?
Why, sir? Those four cities, 50% is charged.
Because it is metro city. Bangalore is also metro city, but that is not included in the rules. And if you see that those four cities, there is a population is more. Population is more to per square feet. That is why cost of living is more in that cities.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Bangalore is not included. Yes. So now, if you see, after knowing these rules, we can solve one problem. Problem regarding HRA. See this. Problem number 11. Till now we discussed 10 problems. Those who have not attended the classes, they can see the link, which is already provided in the group. Yes. So now problem number 11. During the previous year, X received a basic of 3000 per month. So basic for 1 month is given. We want for 12 month. DA at 50% of basic. So here they have not mentioned whether DA enters the retirement benefit or not. Only they have mentioned about DA. Dearness allowance. CCA at 500 per month. What do you mean by CCA? CCA means city compensatory allowance. Then HRA is 1000 per month. That is also given. He pays a rent of 1200 per month for the house. Rent paid for the house is also mentioned. You are required to compute taxable HRA if there are two conditions now. DA is not entered for retirement benefit. That is the first condition. Second one, DA is considered for retirement benefit. So there are two cases. For two cases, we need to solve this problem. So now let us discuss the cases one by one. First one, DA is not considered. Yes. When DA is not considered, how to solve the problem? So you need to make the three columns, particular and true amount column. So first thing you need to write is HRA received. How we used to write for gratuity, committed pension, earned leave encashment, same thing. Whatever the amount received as HRA, we need to write. So if you see the problem, HRA is given 1000 per month. So for 1 year, what is the HRA? 1000 into 12. 1000 into 12, if you do, you will get 12,000. And there is no information about relevant period. So what we assume here, we assume that for entire 1 year, he stayed in the rented house. That is why we multiplied with 12. Less Less exempt under section 10 clause 13A least of the following. So now we need to apply three conditions. First one, actual HRA received for the relevant period. That is same thing. Whatever we have written in the outer column, same thing we need to write in the inner column, 12,000. Next, rent paid in excess of 10% of salary. So first thing we need to determine is rent paid. How to determine rent paid? Rent paid is given in the question. That is 1200 per month. But we want for 12 months. 1200 into 12. If you do, you will get rent paid answer as 14,400. So now one part is over. Next thing we want is a salary. We want his salary. Basic they have mentioned, and unless and otherwise stated, DA you should not consider. In this problem, DA is not enters a retirement benefit, so you should not consider. Only salary. Salary basic 3000 is given. We want salary for 12 months. So 3000 into 12. If you do, you will get 36,000. So this is a salary for 1 year. So on that 36,000, you need to take 10%. Why? Because they have set 10% of salary. So 36,000 into 10%, you will get 3,600. So now you got two amount. One is rent paid amount you got, then you got 10% salary amount. Now you need to see the difference among these two amount. Difference among these two amount, that is rent paid minus 10%
Sir,
of salary. So
sir, your
14,400.
video completely stops, sir.
Sorry,
Your video completely stops, sir, that time for 10 seconds.
is it?
Yes, sir.
Now can you see the
Full
screen
open
now?
voice, sir. Yes, sir. Your voice is breaking.
Voice is breaking. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. But delay it is.
Delay,
Yes,
delay.
sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
See this, rent paid about 10% of salary we are discussing now. Rent paid we got now, that is for 12 month 14,400 minus 10% of salary, that is for 1 year. On that 10% you need to take, that is 3,600. Now you need to deduct 14,400 minus 3,600, you will get 10,800. That is the answer for second point. Third point is 40% of salary. Why 40% of salary? In this problem they have not mentioned about city. If they have not mentioned about city, we'll assume that he lives in any other cities. That means he lives in cities like Bangalore, Mangalore, etc. and not those four cities. What are those four cities we have discussed? Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata. So those four cities, other than those four cities, that is why 40% of salary. Salary we know 36,000, 3,000 into 12. On that you take 40%, you will get 14,400. Yes. Now among these three, whichever is least is exempt. Which is least? Point number 2. That is 10,800 is least. So write it in the outer column. So 10,800 is an exemptable amount. On this amount there is no tax. And remaining amount is taxable. So how to get the taxable amount? HRA received minus exemptable amount. 12,000 minus 10,800 if you do, you will get taxable amount, that is 1,200. That is taxable HRA. When the DA is not considered, this is a first case. Any doubt regarding this first case? Any doubt regarding this first case? Anuj, have you understood? Pragati, Suraksha, Hanumanta, have you understood?
Yes, sir. This I thought Mike was.
Hmm? Mike, what happened?
No, Mike was off, sir. I was telling yes.
Yeah. See this, after solving now DA is not considered. Second thing we need to see is there is two question they have asked in the problem. If you see the problem, they have asked two questions. Next question is DA is considered for retirement benefit. Now we have not taken DA. Now in this case, second case, we should consider DA. Now let us solve now for the second one. When the DA is considered, same thing, you need to do the three columns. So now first one is HRA received. HRA received, same answer, that is 12,000. HRA received given in the problem, that is 1,000 per month. We want it for 12 months. 1,000 into 12, that is 12,000. HRA received. Next, let's exempt under section 10 clause 13 a list of the following. So now again there are three conditions, you know that three condition you need to apply. First is HRA received, that is same 12,000 you need to write. Next, second point, rent paid above 10% of salary. So now first thing you need to calculate rent paid. Rent paid given in the question is 1,200, that is for 1 month. We want it for 12 months. So 1,200 into 12, if you do, you will get 14,400. This is our rent paid. Next thing about salary. Salary means only basic we know, but in this case DA is considered. So now what do you mean by salary? Salary means basic plus DA. So here salary for 1 month 3,000 is a basic. For 12 month how much? 3,000 into 12, 36,000 is our basic. DA. Here we should consider DA. Let us see what is the adjustment for DA. They said in the question DA is 50% of basic. So on that 36,000 salary for 12 months, we should take 50% as our DA. That is why we have taken here, see this, DA 36,000 into 50%. 18,000 is our DA. So total salary is basic plus DA for the second case. 36,000 plus 18,000, that is 54,000 is our DA, that is salary. Basic plus DA is 54,000. So we got rent paid, that is 14,400. We got salary, that is 54,000. But we want 10% of salary. How to get 10% of salary? On the total salary, take 10%. 54,000 into 10%. If you do, you will get 5,400. This is our 10% of salary. So now you need to deduct rent paid minus 10% of salary, that is 14,400 minus 5,400. You get one amount, that is answer for point number 2, that is rent paid about 10% of salary, that is 9,000. Next, 40% of salary. Why 40% of salary? Because here city is not mentioned. So 54,000 is our salary. In the previous case, if we see, salary is 36,000. Why? Because DA is not included. In this second case, DA is included. That is why 18,000 extra. So it becomes 54,000. 54,000 into 40% you do, if you will get the answer as 21,600. So that is about third point number 3. Among these three, whichever is least is exempt. 12, 9 and 21,600. Which is least? 9,000 is least. So 9,000 is exemptable amount. On this there is no tax. So we want taxable amount, taxable HRA. That is HRA received minus exemptable amount. 12,000 minus 9,000 if you do, you will get taxable HRA as 3,000. So this is the answer for the second case. So have you understood? This is how you are going to solve the problem. There is two cases you are going to solve separately. Have you understood this?